Hi everyone, this is Pastor G, Gregg Murray, and I'm coming to you in a rare word to live by. I normally don't do these in my home because I like to come and consider my home to be a place of peace, a place of respite, that I can get away from, the things and the challenges and the battles that God has placed me in. I'm coming to you from my home because it's just something that's really heavy on my spirit, on my mind. Thank those of you who have taken the time to listen. I just want to give you a little scenario of just what's been going on in our country. I'm a black man. I did not choose to be black. I did not choose to have my skin, and my pigmentation of this persuasion. I was born this way. I'm proud to be who I am. My mama raised us to be proud of who we were. And I think everybody should be proud of who they are. But I'm coming today, and I know a lot of you even might not understand, even a lot of my counterparts in Christianity might not understand. I just want to explain to you a situation that, or situations that have taken place in our nation. We're all just trying to be American, all just trying to be what God has called us to be. But there's this spirit in our nation, and perhaps even in our world. And a lot of you have heard about it, read about it, maybe even experienced it for yourself. It's the spirit of racism. Racism in all its stupidity and all its ignorance is becoming a great problem because of who we have as President of the United States. I believe he has just come to expose what already was, what already is, and the things that we have to experience on a daily basis as people of color. Maybe, some people want to push for a race war. I don't know. Seems to be the case. But nevertheless, we are Americans. We're trying to love our country, trying to be all that God has ordained for us to be. And yet, there's this force that seems pitted against us on a daily basis. A lot of folks are tired. I'll tell you about a situation last night that is all too familiar. I'm laying in my bed, sleep, at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm awakened to loud voices beneath my window. I live in a building where we have a parking garage, and I live exactly above that, connected to an alley. I'm hearing this woman calling and expressing racial epithets, the N-word, and just arguing. I didn't hear any other voice. I just heard this woman, so I'm laying back in bed because, it's unfortunately, and sadly, it's become so familiar. A racial epithets and calling the N-word in our nation now. And I don't mean it in a way of like brotherhood and all that stuff. I'm talking about in a way of white supremacy and pure racism. So, I'm laying back in bed. I'm awakened. I'm hearing this woman. I'm listening. Trying to figure out what's going on. Do I need to actually come out of my building and address this as a true man of God? sometimes those voices just go away. They just fade into the darkness. But this voice did not go away. And finally, I heard this voice say, this woman's voice say, he's raping me. He's robbing me. As a man of God, as a man, and hearing a woman say that, Mama didn't raise us to just ignore stuff like that. To stand in the gap, to see what's going on. I immediately sat up in bed and I listened for more. And I knew I had to do something. So I rushed out to my balcony, which oversees the little alley in our building. And I witnessed this woman, white woman, standing in front of this car with this man of color. And she's yelling at him. And she's on the phone with 911. And she's saying that this person is raping her. This person has robbed her purse. And this person she feels fearful of. I knew something was wrong. Because there was this person of color, I thought he was Eastern Indian. He's sitting in his vehicle and he's saying, I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. I'm just trying to get to my fare. It was an Uber driver. And she was blocking his progress, blocking him from driving off, and she's calling the police. So I said, you know what? I think I need to film this because I'm a bit familiar of people who have accused and called the police on especially men of color to try to get them arrested for whatever reason, to try to get the police to come and perhaps do damage. And I said, you know what? I need to start filming this because we cannot let this happen again. And God has sent it like underneath my balcony. I thought I needed to act. I immediately grabbed, I had my phone with me because I came out there with it. I immediately started to put it up, focus it on the scene. And right about that time, 2 police cars, 2 St. Petersburg, Florida police cars came into the alley, racing into the alley. They jumped out of their cars. 1 police officer in each car, white police officers. And they were heading with guns blazing to this man of color to deal with the fact that the report that they had received said that there was a man raping a woman and had robbed her, had kidnapped her, and was holding her against her will. Those are serious felonies. I had already seen that this woman was faking it. So immediately when I seen those officers jump out of their cars, I yelled, "Stop! He is not doing what she said he's doing." I don't know what the situation was that led them to this alley, but this man is not trying to rape anybody. This man has not robbed anybody. As a matter of fact, her purse is around her shoulder. And she's stopping his progress. She's the progressor. The police froze. They came in a calm way, thank God. I told them I was the pastor. I was Pastor Gregg. I'm the pastor of the Mount Zion Primitive Baptist Church in Florida. And I'm telling you, this man has not done what this woman has accused him of doing. She has filed a false report to 911, which is a crime in most places. When they started to do a little investigation there on the scene, they found that this woman was intoxicated, that she was lying. This man had done nothing. Now imagine if I was not there on that balcony. Imagine if I had not cried out to the officer to stop. This man is innocent. What would have happened? Perhaps this man would have have been accused of these felonies and given a long prison sentence or something fatal. You could have got shot, killed. And I was angry. Police did a little investigation. They found that this woman's her claims were not warranted, that her claims were not true. And they told the driver that he can drive off. Then I watched from my balcony. I'm still standing there. The first thing the officers asked me was, "Have you seen it?" I said, "I've seen it all." She's lying. She's racist. Whatever happened between her and the Uber driver, she's trying to get this man in deep trouble, trying to end his life, trying to ruin his life, trying to destroy his life. And I think because I was a pastor that they listened to me. But what if I wasn't? So after the Uber driver drove off, the man of color, I believe it was Eastern Indian or maybe Middle Eastern, they started dealing with this woman who was telling them, "Why weren't y'all protecting me?" These white officers seemed confused. They ended up calling this white woman a cab, not arresting her for filing a false report that could ruin a man's life or perhaps get a man killed. They called her a cab, and I believe they paid for it because she didn't have no money to pay for not only her Uber, but for transportation to wherever she was going. They called her a cab, they paid for it, I believe, and she drove off in that cab. I posted about it on Facebook. Thank God, in St. Petersburg, we have a very fine police officer, a police chief, who called me and assured me that he would look into it. I'm so grateful that I was able to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go out to my balcony, and stop these police officers in the process of believing what this woman was saying, that this man was raping her, which he wasn't, and that this man had kidnapped her, which he didn't, and this man had robbed her, which he didn't, and she was fearful of him because the color of his skin. And as a father of sons, of daughters, who was a son myself to my mama, when that woman drove off and the police officers drove off, I asked him, I said, "Do you need my information? I witnessed the whole thing." He said, "No, we won't need it. Everything is okay now." Everything is not okay. Everything is not okay in our nation. Everything is not okay in this world, in this city. There is a problem. And it's getting worse. And so many of us black men are going to prison unjustly because of these emboldened racists who don't want us here, who don't want. Gotta do something about that. People that don't want us here. I saw it for myself, and I believe that God allowed that scene to take place right beneath my balcony. Thank God that we have a police chief that understands the climate, and vowed to me, assured me that he would do something about it. But I'm troubled. I'm troubled. As a black man, I'm troubled. As a father of black sons, black daughters, I'm troubled. And any one of you who claim to be a follower of Jesus Christ ought to be troubled. I don't know how this is all going to play out. But this is all a too familiar story in such a time as this. I just wanted to bring attention to it. It's real. In and of itself, it's a pandemic. I hope that those of you who've listened to this can understand the climate. They can understand that something has to be done. There are protesters out there every day trying to bring attention to this. We need to look at this. We need to look at this seriously. Why wasn't he arrested? It's sad to be able to think like this, but I'm thinking that if it was a black person that had called and said that they were experiencing those things and lied, that may not have gone as pretty. Call the person a cad. We're trying to be Americans. We're trying to live like everybody else. And God allowed it to come to my doorstep, to my balcony. I saw it. I saw it for myself. I had started to record it, but the police came around, and I felt it was more important to save this man of color's life than to record. So when the police came out with their guns blazing, I just had to say stop and not thinking about recording. So it wasn't recorded. But we know what happened. And we know it's an all too familiar story. Think, whether you're white or black or brown or red or yellow, think. Think when you hear your brothers and your sisters, your black brothers and your sisters telling you that there's an issue. Think. And try to hear it and try to understand it. It's all of our battles. Because if one group, one race, if their lives don't matter, then nobody's lives matter. Think and be willing to do something about it. It's time. God bless you.